Officials from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration were in Atlanta recently to hold a listening session on some new proposed rules for produce. The event was held at the Georgia Department of Agriculture and was highly attended by farmers and others involved in Georgia agriculture. The Monitors Mark Wildman was also there.
Growers, politicians, food safety officials, and many others crowded into a large conference room at the Georgia Department of Agriculture to hear some details on the new food safety rules that will affect the fruit and vegetable industry.
We're very thankful to our federal partners who were willing to do this. Had several of the kind of mandated hearings, but we requested a special one to come to Georgia, and so we've got producers and packers and wholesalers and pretty much cast a very wide swath over the ag industry to come and listen to what are the proposals that are before us, what are some advice or at least some details that FDA can give us at this juncture, so that farmers and other people who are interested in this policy can make comments during the comment period.
The meeting was held in Atlanta, but was transmitted via video feed to Macon and Tifton, all in an effort to communicate to as many growers as possible. Producers are always nervous when more rules are created for their industry, and producers at this meeting are specifically concerned about a few details in the new proposal.
Primarily when you start moving from a packing facility that's packing for a number of different growers in your area, when you start moving from packing for yourself to packing for other growers, it changes your classification under the Bioterrorism Act from a farm to a facility. FDA is having to write rules around that, so that's one of the biggest concerns from our association standpoint.
The president of the Georgia Farm Bureau, ZIPPY DUVALL, who was there representing thousands of farmers across Georgia, also attended the meeting. He says Farm Bureau will be involved in the process and will work hard to make sure farmers are kept up to date on the new rules.
One thing, we can be a good way of communicating to our growers of what these new rules and regulations are out there, and they're still asking for comments, so we're looking for what they're going to tell us today to make some additional comments on what those rules might be. And what I've heard so far is, they're going to depend on a lot of sound science and research. And, we talk about research, it takes money to do research, and the funds for research have been drying up on a national level. And we're also going to be involved in the policy part of what comes during and after these rules. So, if it's going to require research, then we'll be going and asking people if this is what the general public is demanding that we do as far as food safety. Then we need money to do some research to make sure we understand how water and when water can be added to a crop and what can we use to make sure that there's no contamination in there.
The new rules are still in the early stages of implementation. Farmers still have an opportunity to let their voices be heard, and we, of course, will keep you updated as the process moves forward.
I believe the opportunities that we have in the vegetable industry and producing our Georgia-grown products and how recognized we are, it's important for us to be on the cutting edge of these particular issues that impact public health, and we just want to be sure people can stay in business so they can produce for that consumer that's demanding fresh, locally produced products.
In Atlanta, I'm Mark Wildman for the Georgia Farm Monitor.